What if the game everyone else is playing is a complete and utter lie? What if the frantic climb up society's ladder actually leads to a gilded cage, not a throne of freedom? What if the real power isn't found in the noise of the crowd, but in the focused silence of the man who walks his own path? What if true domination isn't about defeating others, but about making them irrelevant? Welcome to the Sigma Male community. This is not a channel for those seeking approval or looking for a comforting pat on the back. This is a forge for the self-reliant, a war room for the architects of their own reality. We speak to the man who understands that his mind is his primary weapon and his will is his only sovereign. Today we dissect the very DNA of the Sigma male, exploring the 11 core principles that allow him to systematically dominate every arena he chooses to enter. This isn't about luck or talent, it's about a superior operating system, a mindset so resilient and finely tuned that competition simply cannot keep pace. We will explore how a philosophy of internal strength and unyielding self-mastery allows these men to not just win the game, but to create their own. 1. Masters of self-accountability. The modern world is a carnival of finger-pointing, an endless circus where blame is the primary currency. People drown themselves in a sea of excuses, citing unfair systems, bad luck, or the actions of others as the reason for their stagnation. The Sigma male observes this spectacle from a distance, not with judgment, but with a cold, analytical clarity. He understands a fundamental truth that paralyzes the masses. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a weapon. He doesn't just avoid blame. He actively hunts for his own culpability in every situation. When a project fails, a relationship ends, or a venture collapses, his first instinct isn't to look outward for a scapegoat, but to turn the full, unforgiving spotlight inward. He dissects his every decision, his every action, and his every miscalculation with the dispassionate precision of a surgeon searching for the root of a disease. This brutal self-honesty is not a form of self-punishment. It is the most efficient engine for growth ever conceived. This radical ownership transforms every failure from a tombstone into a blueprint. Where others see a dead end, the Sigma sees invaluable data for his next, more effective maneuver. This practice builds a psychological fortress around him. He becomes immune to the victimhood narrative that cripples so many. He knows that no government, no economic downturn, and no personal slight has the ultimate power to define his trajectory. By holding himself accountable for everything in his sphere of influence, he seizes the reins of his own destiny. He is the sole author of his story, the lone legislator of his personal code. This isn't arrogance. It is the quiet, unshakable confidence of a man who knows his fate rests entirely in his own hands. It is the very definition of sovereignty. 2. Architects of legacy, not mirage. We live in an age of instant gratification, a world addicted to the fleeting dopamine hit of a notification, a like or a shortcut. Society celebrates the flashy, the overnight success, the gambler who won big. The Sigma male finds this culture utterly uninteresting. He operates on a different time scale, a geological framework of patience and strategic depth. He isn't planting flowers that will wilt in a week. He is planting oak trees that will take decades to mature into an unshakable testament to his vision. He understands that real power, real wealth, and real influence are not built on fleeting trends but on the slow, deliberate, and often invisible process of compound growth. His focus is on building a legacy, not a mirage. While the masses are scrolling, swiping, and chasing the next shiny object, the Sigma is in his workshop, his study, or his gym, laying another brick in the foundation of his empire. This patience is not passive. It is an active, predatory force. Every hour spent mastering a complex skill, every dollar invested for the long term, every disciplined day lived in the shadows is a tightening of a colossal spring. To the outside world, his life may seem slow, uneventful, even boring. But when his moment finally arrives, when the project launches, the business explodes, or the masterpiece is revealed, the world calls it luck or overnight success. They do not see the 1,000 disciplined days, the 10,000 hours of silent, obsessive work that made the outcome an inevitability. 3. Charm is a dark art. Observe a typical social gathering. You will see people clamoring for attention, talking over one another, desperately trying to prove their worth through volume and bravado. Then you might notice the Sigma. He is often on the periphery, not out of shyness but out of strategic observation. He is not merely networking, he is hacking the entire social dynamic. His charisma is not a cheap parlor trick learned from a book. It is a sophisticated weapon forged from forensic observation and a deep understanding of human nature. He watches, he listens, he decodes the subtle power shifts, the micro-expressions, the unmet needs, and the hidden insecurities in the room before he ever makes a calculated move. When he does engage, his magnetism seems effortless, almost supernatural. This is not the loud, backslapping extroversion of a salesman. It is a form of emotional jujitsu. He has a profound ability to listen, to ask the right questions, and to make the other person feel like the most important individual in the room. He mirrors their best qualities back at them, not with flattery, but with a genuine curiosity that is both disarming and deeply compelling. He steers conversations with a master's touch, building rapport and influence not by shouting his own virtues, but by understanding the desires of others. In a world full of people screaming to be heard, his quiet, focused competence and his ability to connect on a deeper level give him an almost unfair advantage. 4. Obsession over hobby. The world is filled with dabblers. People who pick up a guitar for a month, start a business for a season, or hit the gym for a few weeks before the initial wave of enthusiasm fades and they move on to the next fleeting interest. The Sigma male does not dabble. When he commits to a path, he drowns himself in the pursuit of mastery. For him, a chosen craft is not a mere hobby, it is a blood pact with his own potential. He willingly pushes through the awkward phase, that grueling period of incompetence and frustration where 99% of people quit, because he knows that on the other side of that pain lies true excellence. This relentless drive is not mere passion, it is a controlled and channeled obsession. He doesn't just practice, he engages in deliberate, analytical ritual. He dissects the skill into its smallest components, isolates his weaknesses, and attacks them with ferocious intensity until muscle memory transforms into unconscious genius. While others are perpetually chasing novelty and the thrill of starting something new, the Sigma drills deeper and deeper into his chosen domain. He understands that surface-level knowledge is worthless. True power lies in becoming so undeniably good at something that your skill itself becomes a form of currency. What people eventually see as natural talent is, in reality, the hard-won spoils of a decade-long invisible war against his own limitations. 5. The Unbreakable Covenant. In our current culture, a person's word is often treated as a suggestion, a flimsy placeholder subject to change based on mood, convenience, or a better offer. Plans are tentative, promises are aspirational, and ghosting has become a socially acceptable form of communication. Against this backdrop of flakiness and unreliability, the Sigma male's word is a pillar of granite. When he gives his word, it is not a casual utterance. It is an unbreakable covenant, etched in titanium. He understands that trust is the ultimate currency in all human interaction, and he cultivates his own reliability with the same diligence he applies to any other skill. He does not try to deliver, he simply delivers. Period. This unwavering integrity creates a powerful gravitational field around him. People, clients, partners, and the very few he calls friends, find themselves orbiting his consistency. They know that in a world of chaos and broken promises, he is a fixed point of certainty. His personal honor is not for sale and it cannot be compromised. He doesn't make excuses because he has already engineered solutions. Emergencies and obstacles are met not with retreat, but with a calm, focused application of his will. In the marketplace of human character, where trust is constantly being devalued, the Sigma male is the gold standard, and that reliability grants him access to opportunities and alliances that remain forever closed to the untrustworthy. Look around you. Society is littered with spectators, with men waiting for permission slips that will never come. They are waiting for the right moment, the right feeling, the right sign. Not here. On this channel, you are either forging your Sigma core or you are sharpening it. Every single point in this video is a chisel. The question is, will you use it to sculpt yourself into something undeniable, or will you allow yourself to remain raw, unformed stone? The choice is yours. Listen closely to what comes next. Your move. 6. Future-fueled visionaries. Many men are prisoners of their past. They drive through life staring intently into the rearview mirror, constantly reliving old victories, nursing old wounds and lamenting past failures. Their identity is a museum of what used to be. The Sigma male sees the past for what it is, a data point and nothing more. He surgically extracts the necessary lessons from his failures, learns from them, and then metaphorically incinerates the emotional baggage. He has no time for nostalgia or regret because his eyes are locked on a horizon that others cannot even perceive. He navigates not by the dimming light of yesterday, but by the constellations of tomorrow that he has mapped out in his own mind. This forward-facing orientation is not shallow optimism, it is ruthless pragmatism. The Sigma male is a master of reinvention. He sheds old identities, old beliefs, and old limitations like a snake sheds its skin, knowing that growth is impossible without letting things go. He views past trauma not as a life sentence in a psychological prison, but as a grueling workshop where his resilience was forged. While others are weeping about what they've lost or who they used to be, the Sigma is quietly engineering his next evolution. His internal mantra is simple and devastatingly effective. The next move is the only one that matters. 7. The invisible arena. The average man is obsessed with external competition. He measures his success by comparing his car, his salary, his status to those around him. He is constantly looking over his shoulder, driven by jealousy and the need for external validation. This is a game the Sigma male refuses to play. He understands that competing with others puts him on their level and forces him to play by their rules. His true arena is invisible to the outside world. His only rival is the man he was yesterday. His battlefield is entirely internal, a silent, daily war waged between his current self and the prototype of the superior man he intends to become. This internal competition breeds a rate of growth that is exponential and deeply personal. He isn't motivated by trophies, leaderboards, or the applause of the crowd. He is motivated by the gnawing, relentless question, is this my absolute apex? He meticulously tracks his own personal records, in his work, his fitness, his knowledge, and is in a state of perpetual, constructive dissatisfaction. This is not a competition, it is the art of aloneness perfected. He seeks to defeat his own weaknesses, conquer his own limitations, and constantly expand the boundaries of his own potential. Surrender in this war is not an option. It is not even coded into his psychological DNA. 8. Sovereign territory. From birth we are conditioned to conform. Follow the rules, respect the hierarchy, stay within the lines. This is the path of the herd, a life of outsourced thinking and borrowed convictions. The Sigma male views this prepackaged existence as a cage. He is a colonizer of autonomy. He doesn't just break the rules, he sees them as irrelevant and proceeds to write his own. He doesn't just climb existing hierarchies. He designs parallel structures where he operates according to his own principles. This is not adolescent rebellion, it is sophisticated ecosystem engineering. He understands that he requires independence to function at his peak, just as a deep-sea creature requires pressure. He thrives in the very conditions that would suffocate a man who depends on applause and validation. His solitude therefore is not loneliness, it is a command center. It is in this space, free from the noise and influence of the collective, that he does his deepest thinking, lays his most ambitious plans, and makes his most critical decisions. There is no committee vote on his life's direction. There is no board of directors approving his next move. While others are paralyzed by the fear of judgment or the need for consensus, the Sigma validates his own path through sheer velocity and tangible results. He understands a profound truth. Conformity is a cage, but true freedom is a launch pad. 9. Chaos Alchemists. Most people fear change and despise chaos. They crave stability, predictability, and a life free from disruption. When faced with instability, a market crash, a new technology, a sudden life change, their first instinct is to brace for impact and resist. The Sigma male has the opposite reaction. He does not fear disruption, he courts it. He sees chaos not as a threat, a destructive force, but as a wellspring of opportunity. He understands that moments of great turbulence are when old structures break down, creating a vacuum that the swift and adaptable can fill. He dissects turmoil to find the hidden blueprints for the future. This skill goes far beyond mere flexibility, it is a form of practical metamorphosis. The Sigma male has the ability to rewire his instincts and strategies in real time, adapting faster than the competition can even process the change. He sees the avalanche and, instead of running from it, looks for a way to ride it to a higher elevation. He uses moments of crisis to leapfrog those who are frozen by fear. While the resistors are being crushed by the weight of change, the Sigma is surfing the tsunami, leveraging its immense power to propel himself forward. He is an alchemist who turns the lead of chaos into the gold of opportunity. 10. Depth divers. In a world obsessed with superficial metrics, follower counts, social connections, a wide but shallow network, the Sigma male plays a different game. He trades the illusion of a large circle for the reality of a fortified vault. He is not interested in collecting acquaintances. He is interested in forging deep, resonant connections with a very select few. He approaches human relationships like a master archaeologist, carefully brushing away the layers of small talk, social posturing, and trivialities to uncover a shared core of purpose, intellect, and integrity. In his interactions, there are no wasted words, only weighted silences and meaningful exchange. This approach to relationships is not about friendship in the conventional sense. It is about building mutual armor. The Sigma male attracts and is attracted to fellow architects of life, not idle decorators. He seeks out individuals who challenge him, who operate on a similar frequency of ambition and self-mastery. In a swipe-left culture that treats human beings as disposable commodities, his bonds are hand-forged, tested by pressure, and built to last. He understands that the strength of his inner circle is not in its size, but in its impenetrable depth and unwavering loyalty. 11. Purpose as compass, not decoration. Many people talk about finding their purpose, as if it were a lost object they might stumble upon one day. For them, purpose is a decoration, a nice idea to put on a vision board but disconnected from their daily actions. For the Sigma male, purpose is not something to be found, it is something to be embodied. It is not a destination, it is the compass that dictates his every move, every single day. His goals are not a simple checklist of achievements to be ticked off. They are the constellations that guide his voyage through the darkest nights. Every action, from the book he reads to the business he builds, is deliberately bent in the direction of his overarching mission. This is a force more powerful than mere ambition. Ambition is about achieving something for oneself. A life guided by purpose is about becoming something in service of a greater legacy. The Sigma male measures his life not in inches or accolades but in impact. He is not concerned with leaving footprints on the sands of time that the next tide will wash away. He is here to carve canyons, to create something so significant and meaningful that its echo continues to reshape the landscape long after he is gone. This is not a search for meaning. It is destiny in motion, a life lived with such intentionality that it becomes a force of nature in itself. So let's be clear. Sigmas don't dominate by chance. They don't win by playing harder. They win by playing a different game entirely, a game where the rules are written in the ink of self-mastery and stoic resolve. They rewrite the rulebook and then they burn the manuscript, because the path forward is always an invention. The real question was never, are you one? The only question that matters is, will you become one? This channel, is not a passive source of entertainment. It is a mirror. And what you do after you turn it off is the only thing that counts. The world's throne room has empty seats, waiting not for the privileged or the lucky, but for the disciplined and the determined. So here is your call to action. Don't just watch. Build. Choose one. Just one of the 11 principles we've discussed today, and for the next 7 days, live it with an unwavering, obsessive intensity. If this message resonated with the architect inside you, then acknowledge it by liking this video. In the comments below, declare which principle you will embody. Share this script with one other man you know who is walking this path alone and needs the reinforcement. And of course, if you have not yet joined our ranks, subscribe to the Sigma male community, for this is your forge. For those of you who are already part of this legion, ensure your notifications are activated, because our work is never finished. Stop watching history. Start creating it. The world doesn't wait for permission. Neither do we. Now go dominate.